RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this afternoon still, Pat Scorpion, New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm letting him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? RingGangRadio.com in the building. It's your boy Shuttleworth the guy, aka the GOAT artist.
Hey.
I mean, the Soul Wars creator, Ring Gang innovator, aka the Netflix ending. If you seen the big ass fight for the weekend last night, you know it had that Netflix ending.
Yes, sir.
Extraction with boxing gloves, nigga. Platform with fades. Like whatever you want, whatever Netflix show that ended trash, movie that ended trash, you just know, like, damn, here it goes. So, y'all watching live and y'all wanted to understand the title I'm going by, but yeah, it's GOAT artist Shuttleworth. LB, Lauderdale boss.
Yes, sir. Ringing in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm letting him introduce himself.
Hey, yo, what's good? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio in the building. Let's go.
Hey, Bodega P, King P. And he's not in the sewer. He hasn't been in the sewer in the weekends. It's actually good, though. That means that there's less crime being committed. Am I correct in assuming that, King P?
Yeah, nah. Crime is good, so I'm just getting ready. We're gonna talk some boxing, and then after that, I'm gonna go hit up the Clades for some wrestling.
Hey, that's what it is, bro. That's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing, boxing, wrestling. It's all interconnected.
I mean, wrestling.
That's what you Southern folks would call it, wrestling.
Oh man, though, as always, though, we salute you for your service, man. Keeping our city straight from all these miscreants and reprobates, and especially the fucking rats, as always, man, because we hate fucking rats. They're all rats must die. Even the
ones that show up to protest with like dressed up as Rambo.
Hey, absolutely, man.
Get off scot-free.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Looking for the smoke. You know what I'm saying? Talking about
those are worse rats right now.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. Fucking fake ass vigilante. Motherfucker barely got hair on his balls and shit. Trying to be a vigilante, man. Fuck out of here. He should have been abused in jail. But in fucking time.
Kenny Porter need to throw the towel in for that damn whole trial.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fact. Like 17-year-olds should be trying to get girls, not guns. People are trying to trying to be like, oh no, he's not this and that. The media is misleading you. He's a good boy. He was looking for fucking trouble. It doesn't matter what he was doing there. 17-year-old should be talking to some women his age, not holding a rifle, taking pictures like he's cool.
Trying to get your whole ass into college.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga's out here, like, he's nearsighted, is trying to be cool with a gun. Nah, bruh. Take them glasses off. You're trying to look up.
Mr. Magoo looking ass the fuck on.
I'm saying, like, chubby ass. Nigga got baby fat. You ain't nothing tough about you, little bitch. Shit.
All right, so so I take it that everybody's ready because he just got like a first verse.
I mean, it had to be mentioned, yo. And then definitely gotta say hello to Jay Lewis and Rusty. Salute. Definitely say what up, man. Salute. And then last but certainly not least, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's fly? It's your boy Conscious Pilot, aka the West Coast Avenger, the #1 contender. You know what it is. Destination Ring Gang Radio. Let's fly, baby. Let's get it.
That's what it is. Conscious Pilot nigga stays elevated above the clouds. You dig? You know what I'm saying? It's good to have him. He's not in sleep mode and everything like that.
Facts. I felt like he was like the little brother that was trying to stay up with the big brothers, you know, on Wednesday for the Tazoo fight.
Yeah. Hey, come on, guys! Let me stay up to watch. I want to watch.
I was watching that in the running, bro. I tried. I could.
We're the big brothers, yo. Like, chill. Like,
yeah,
falls asleep at the last 2 rounds.
And that's when I woke up. I was like, oh shit! I think my boxing sixth sense. Like, fight's coming on. You know, so I had to go fumble for my Roku remote and my TV remote to get to that shit.
You ain't missing a goddamn thing.
No,
you missed one of the worst undercards I've seen until the Crawford Porter undercard.
Yeah, that ain't even worth mentioning.
Shout out to the thug tier, darker Japanese guy that had the teardrop tattoo and shit.
Oh yeah, thug life jobber.
Yeah, that's why Australian cards, man. Usually it's just the main event that's actually worth a damn. Yeah, because some of them Australian cards, even I find them mature, and I usually watch about any damn thing. But yeah.
Dude, the PBC on Fox be feeling like pay-per-view compared to that shit.
I'm saying, you know what I mean?
That's how bad it was. These motherfuckers didn't even have no highlights for Inoue for the first 20 minutes. Like, these motherfuckers was playing Ippo highlights, anime clips. like I'm serious. Like, these motherfuckers legit playing Ippo clips trying to describe Inoue. I'm like, the fuck y'all doing? Like... And then they finally gave him some highlights, and it was just a couple. And I'm like, you know, this dude was putting his foot all in Magia's ass. Like, y'all don't show that.
Yeah, it's like, it was everything was just poorly done production wise. But we'll get into that fight in a little bit, though. We got to talk about we got to talk about the big fight that just happened this weekend. Of course, I'm talking about one Terence Bud Crawford and one Showtime Shawn Porter. You know, it was definitely an anticipated fight for this year. You know, thank God it wasn't canceled because of COVID, or some niggas got injured, or some niggas, you know, were drunk and they crashed and they detached the retina, or some bullshit like that, nigga. So,
goddamn,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was anticipating, you know, and obviously, if you listen to our preview, you know, Crawford there's a lot of mixed emotions, not just with our ranks, but also within boxing media in general. And, you know, with Terence Crawford, I mean, he passes the eye test, but unfortunately the other test, you know, most people thought he came up short. And then you have Shawn Porter, who has basically faced every notable welterweight in the last probably 8 years, with the exception of Manny Pacquiao. So, and maybe Floyd too, if you want to count him into the equation. You know, so, but yeah, before we get into that fight, we just gotta say something, man. And this is what I can't say about Top Rank. Usually it's one of the fights that are not really palatable. They have the fire undercard, and then the main event turned out to be something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like the last one with the Zepeda Josue Vargas card. That shit was heat from top to fucking bottom. You know, and that shit was a minor ass card. You know what I'm saying? But a pay-per-view card where you got like a pound for pound, and you got two notable heavy welterweights in there. You could at least put a significant title fight on that motherfucker in the co-main or some shit like that.
And pay everybody what they're worth, because the way everybody fought, like everybody literally fought to get a check. Like the Falco, like he's talented, he's solid, but the way he fought is like he nailed it in there, and he was struggling with a guy who was doing made up faces and shit. Like
dude was really like, I was like, what is this dude doing? Like, dude really looked at the camera looking like he was half retarded, like still staring. I was like, yo, like, what is your problem? Like, I know, cause, yeah, I swear some fighters don't know how to act when they're on pay-per-view. They act brand new or some shit. You know,
he held his own though. That's the thing though.
Yeah, no, but the thing is that I was tired of the action where niggas were just hitting each other in their forearms and shit like that, or they had the muffs on. I was hoping that this fight wouldn't go the distance, but I was like 6 rounds. I was like, God, yeah, this shit is like tiring. But honestly, the headbutt was a sigh. Like, I gave a sigh of relief when I saw that cut open up on dude's face.
The only fight on undercard worth mentioning was the prelims with the Adam Lopez Ochoa fight. It didn't go on that. It didn't last long enough to really speak. It just seemed like there's a damn headbutt epidemic this weekend. So.
Yeah,
that fight in the preliminary co-main should have been on the main card.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make no sense.
Because Dogboy and Diaz was like a decent fight. Like
it was.
That would have helped the card out tremendously.
Both those, I mean, what fight? The Lopez fight should have been maybe the opener for the pay-per-view. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think
speak up a little louder, please. Like.
Yeah, I think part of what happened was, because this is the first pay-per-view which Bob wanted to be. It was completely ESPN Plus. Like you couldn't order it through like your provider or anything like that. You had to have ESPN Plus to watch it, else you was asked out. So I think that's what he probably put like the fights that would probably entice people, like those two particular fights with the fighters involved. And then afterwards he put fuck all on the pay-per-view card. And that's where we got shit like Ndam getting his brains beaten by Kazakh style. Like, I was just, it was actually sick. Like Ndam has seen better days. Like honestly, Ndam, I can't even say he overachieved. I mean, because Ndam was a former legitimate champion. You know what I'm saying? But he's like 37, 38 years old right now. Like dude hasn't been in any type of prime since Lemieux beat him. In that war like some years ago. Like,
and he got a gift against. He got
a huge gift against Murata in the first fight. Like. And I could in Japan of all places, and there's no way in hell that he even won that fight. But I think a bet might have been said. Like, I mean, Loki, some illegal shows probably behind that type of decision going down. But because Japan, there is an underworld there. So that's
an underworld everywhere. But God,
Yakuza.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that was one of the worst robberies I've ever seen, and they robbed a Japanese guy. Like,
yeah, exactly in his whole land. But something went wrong.
Deals they was cutting.
Yeah, I guess it was either that or I kill your whole family type of shit, or I chop off all your fingers, that type of shit, nigga. So, but other than that, like Ndam, like I say, he seemed better. Like he was a good, decent action fighter, though. But yeah, he didn't belong on that pay-per-view. Kazakh style just beat the crap out of him. So now he's probably going to be Andre's next Mando if Munguia decides not to go the WBO route and goes to WBC route, which we'll probably discuss probably next week too. What happens with that, because there's other fighters involved on the tank card with that. So that fight didn't belong on there, and it was just a whole bunch of pure mid.
Did y'all have Dogboy winning? I'm fucking up his name.
Honestly, Dogboy, I thought that shit was
Dogboy?
I thought this shit was I thought this shit was like a draw.
Didn't see it though. Can't comment.
I think Dogboy won like, was it 10 rounds? I think it was maybe 6-4.
Yeah,
I saw it too.
But it was close though, and Diaz didn't do himself no favors because Diaz was just a little bit too passive. But I didn't think Dogboy looked all that. I mean, he boxed more, and I think Navarrete both humbled both these cats, because these cats used to be throwing their hands more. But I think Dogboy kind of understood now that he probably got some lasting damage from the Navarrete fight, and Diaz is just coming off the Navarrete fight, and he got big.
He was scared to open up, even though he hurt Dogboy a couple times. If he pushed the issue, he could get Dogboy out of there, at least drop him, but he never did. And I'm like, dude, like, you gonna watch this fight and be angry at yourself, because Dogboy just kind of, he let Dogboy compose himself, and then Dogboy will just keep at it. Like, it's like the steadiness wins the race sometime, and that's all Dogboy was. Like, he was steady, he was consistent, and he outworked Diaz, and Diaz was looking like the more talented guy in spots, but just too passive.
Yeah, he just couldn't put it together like when he needed to, and like so, you could hardly feel sorry for him. I mean, at best it's a draw, but in no shape or form did I think that he won the fight.
Agreed.
Yeah, and there was another one with Muratalla and Arejo, which was actually a pretty decent scrap, but the referee kind of, that might have been an early stoppage. But then, of course, Arejo was getting his brains kind of beaten, but he was pissed.
The referees in the corners and headbutts this weekend were just like disgusting.
Facts.
But yeah, not all the cannon fighters out the way, man. So who wanna spit the Terence Crawford Porter verse first? Because I know y'all got some bars saved up. I'm gonna just fall back.
I guess I will start. Okay.
Right.
First of all, I think I am the co-MVP of this weekend for the predictions. And my brother over there, Conscious Pilot, is the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we said in the preview what round the shit was going to go down in, and how it was going to go down, and it happened. So big ups to myself and my brother, Conscious Pilot. He elevates. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then, the fight itself, Crawford needed something big because it was his last fight on the top-ranked contract, and Porter obviously he was the pawn in this game. Listen to my little breakdown. I had a little nice line about that. Y'all need to go listen to that again because there was some Rakim-esque bars going on that shit. So yeah, it was. I thought it was a great fight, man. I actually went to a house party because my boy, one of my old boxing buddies was ordering that shit. So he hit me up. I was like, yeah, shit, I'll go over there. So it was cool, man. Porter, man, Porter, like I said, Porter does what he does, man. Like I say, you can see why he gives a lot of people trouble though. But if you figure out how to fight him, you can, you can see like a pattern because Porter never really made any real adjustments. Like I've never seen anyone get hit with so many check hooks in my life in a fight. Like check hook is not even a fight. It's not even a punch that most people throw that often. And Crawford at least hit him at least a couple times in each round, like past like round 2 or some shit.
Did Bud stay in southpaw for after the second? It seemed like
he stayed in the southpaw, and I was like, once that shit happened, I was like, okay, say Crawford's doing what he do because basically, it's usually if you make Crawford come out of the southpaw stance, that's when he's like, okay, I have to reset or I need to think of some other adjustments. Now he stayed in that shit, and Porter, like I said, he didn't make no. Porter would try to hit him with a leaping hook, which Crawford saw, or a leaping right hand instead of just throwing a straight right hand down the pike, which Crawford saw, although he did get hit with a couple of them. I'm not saying that he wasn't missing all of them. And then afterwards, he'd go in there, and Crawford would hold his arm, and you see Porter, thinking he's in an alley fight with his one arm just hitting him everywhere, like boom, 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 boom. He was trying. But the thing that was surprising too, actually not too surprising, was the fact that Crawford bullied him in the clinch and was able to push him into the ropes at will and push him off. That's not a big thing to do with Porter. Porter got football strength, and the big thing that led to what happened, how the shit went down, how Terence Crawford won, the body shots, body counters. Especially, I especially love the check hook and then the body counter. Then with the check hook, then hit him to the body. And they're not it wasn't just some literal pussy ass body shots. Like them shits was audibles. Like you can hear him. It was like, God damn, this nigga's hitting him in the sternum or some shit like that. Like it had that thumping sound. Like I know, or like if you're in the gym and you have a contest and niggas is hitting you with the medicine ball in your stomach trying to make you puke. That type of sound. I was like, God. And then Porter, and that shit, and no one ever really went to Porter's body like it. For usually try to hit that dude in the head, but Porter's tough. But them body shots, had that nigga walking funny after I think it's like the 7th or 8th round. Like it had him stopping fighting like 5 seconds before the round ended. And I'm thinking to myself, is this nigga about to quit? But I think he was just like, nah, he was just winded. And Crawford let him go back to his corner for that one. But yeah, it just went from bad to worse. And then like I said, Porter was just catching that work, and then a body shot led to the first knockdown. And then shortly the second knockdown, and one thing that Porter also doesn't do is usually if you drop Porter will either pop back up and be like, okay, you got me, or okay, yep, we're doing this, and get back to work. Second knockdown, this nigga threw a temper tantrum on the ground, like he was smashing his hand on the canvas.
Yeah, that was.
Like I'm thinking to myself, it was one of the rare times I wish that the ref was mic'd up to see if Porter was actually gonna say a bad word or something like that, because this dude is a clean living, boy from Ohio. He goes to church, so I was thinking to myself, man, is he about to start cursing and shit like that? But yeah, then of course the Netflix ending that LB keeps talking about. Kenny Porter kind of made it too much about himself. He got on the apron and called that shit off. And then that created a whole bunch of mixed reactions. Me personally, I don't mind that stoppage. It's whatever. You know, like I said, because Crawford, if you ever hear me talk about Crawford is mean. Like Crawford is old school mean. Like and that's not really found in this generation. Like I think Usyk is mean. I think Monster is mean. Shit, every time Monster probably throws a punch, he probably hears the sound that Ryu makes when he does his hurricane kick. You know, in the head. You know what I'm saying? So like. Yeah, like, you know, Crawford is mean, like, and I dig that too. And it's like, even if they let it continue, like, I think Crawford would have knocked him out like clean, or would have been a brutal knockout.
Brutal, mean. It would have been meaned up, definitely.
Yeah, like Porter would probably be doing a crooked Ric Flair strut to his corner if that let it continue, nigga. So it like I had no problem with the stoppage, bro. So, you know, big ups to Crawford, you know, finally putting the shit to bed at the PBC welters at PBC were like superior, because that was a common theme, not, you know, in a lot of areas. And you know, Crawford is now probably in his, you know, he's probably in his, I wouldn't say this is probably his career peak for now, you know, depending on, you know, if we get the Spence fight. But yeah, I had nothing to say, you know, nothing else to say. Yeah, Crawford did what he had to do, man, and shame on Kenny Porter for what he said after that. Like, honestly, someone should have knocked out Kenny Porter for that shit. Like, if it wasn't for Shawn, like, someone should have just came in there, masked up, and just knocked out Kenny Porter and then tried to escape. Just try to skip through the crowd like the NWO used to do, you know, or Sting used to do, or some shit like that, nigga. So
damn, where's Clarissa Shields' brother when you need him?
Exactly. Oh man, no, but yeah, I enjoyed the fight immensely, and it was high level boxing, like, you know. And yeah, Ward, I think, needs to really keep his opinions to himself. You know, and Bradley's commentary was kind of, you know, it was pretty biased filled too. You know, yeah, like these two, I think those two need a little talking to, a little bit, because I'm tired of hearing Ward's rants at the end of these fights. And it's one thing going on because he's projecting big time, and Bradley, Bradley's just it's his energy and it's cool with that. But Bradley was clearly for Crawford. I'm like, yo, you're not supposed to be like this.
All these niggas was. That's why it felt so weird that Ward was like rooting for Porter throughout the fight. I'm like, ain't Crawford your boy? Like, what's going on? Like, niggas are just all over the place. But the thing is, at least Bradley, he's been having that energy, and he's kind of that guy who hypes up the fight more for you.
Yeah,
and he doesn't let his bias get away too much. Mm-hmm. But like Ward, like you see it all the time with Ward. Like I honestly, I hardly ever be impressed with his commentary. It's either he's missing something that's super obvious, or he's being super biased, and then all the other times it's just hit or miss. He'll say some good shit, then he'll say something stupid right afterwards. Like,
or he's being completely arrogant, which is I think is really coming through these days with him.
Yeah, like, honestly, he comes off as a bitter dude that still wants to be fighting and making these big paydays that he sees guys making that he feel that he's a better than.
Mm-hmm. He never really had that drawing power too.
Yeah. He never fought like it either.
Yeah,
but motherfuckers on the internet hyped him up thinking
he talks like he. I mean, Ward's a great fighter, but he talks like he gets these guys out of there, and half the time, like, bro, you didn't really put the.
Like, bro, you had a 50% KO rate. I can't even remember the last time you actually put away a fighter early. I think the Paul Smith fight was probably the earliest I actually remember. Like, unless I want to go back to his Showbox days, like,
dude just played it safe way too much inside the ring. But he's always wanting people to step on the gas and knock people out when he commentate. Like, he just come off weird as fuck, man. Like, I don't get dude at all. Like,
yeah, no, he's kind of weird though. So it's just like, you know, yeah, you guys, yeah, he needs to calm down. Just call the fight down the middle, bro. Like, no one, like, you know, this is your generation is done. Like, yes, it's sad that your body kind of broke down. You know,
allegedly. Because if he ain't had that lawsuit, you know he'd be fighting right now.
He would. You know, he absolutely would. You know,
I think that's the shit that pisses him off. But if you live by the lawsuits and during your career, then you got to live with them outside of it when it's done. So
exactly. You know, but you know, LB, man, you know, spit your piece about this fight, bro.
I mean, I thought we got a great fight. That, you know, was the main event to a trash card, so the fight stand out a little more. It was good. It was highly competitive. I felt Porter was even up at the stoppage, or I could even see him ahead. Crawford struggled mightily to me, especially early. He was doing some things that usually, like I usually see when a guy in the gym fights somebody that's on his level. So the little habits that he does against guys beneath him, he was still doing in the first couple rounds. Like the pulling back, like Crawford's so used to just being offensive and not worrying about somebody throwing a quick shot back at him, that he was getting caught with like right hands from Porter repeatedly when he was pulling back early after exchanges. And he was being sent back 2 and 3 feet. Like, it's shit like that I'm looking at. And then, you know, the check, he was really just corralling Porter. Like, he wasn't landing check hooks like that. They kept landing on his back or his neck or shoulder. Like, he was playing Matador with Porter, and he was barely accomplishing that. But one thing that he did stay consistent with, and reminded me of Canelo Plant, was the body work.
Yes sir.
But he had to work a lot harder for his body punching.
Hell yeah,
than Canelo had, because Plant basically was he served up his flank on a platter for Canelo, whereas Crawford had to kind of pivot and stand there with Porter and take shots and just dig deep and just say, fuck it, you know, I'm gonna commit to this. And you know, and he was getting the shots off, but I felt like he definitely struggled more so than anybody else with Porter did until that stoppage. And the stoppage was just horrible. Kenny Porter, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He made this shit about him. I don't know what kind of beef him and Porter was having, but it just had Josu Vargas dad vibes all over it. The whole, you know, shitting on him and saying, well, you know, he wasn't ready, he wasn't prepared. You know, I live across the street. This dad, I knew when he was this dad. It's like, nigga, if you don't sit your ass down, like, if you want to say this whole, well, I knew where it was going, like, he had more. It's like, to me, he seemed like he was in awe of Crawford, even telling a little bullshit story about how him and Crawford almost fought in some alley, and you know, and he's like all spooked about this guy. Like, it's a scene with the damn in Predator 2 with the damn Jamaican in Predator. Like, like, what the fuck, man? Just get on with this bullshit. I hate when niggas be trying to go into little extra stories that don't mean shit. Well, to me, it just mean like he was shook a dude.
And here's my reason on that. I think too, because I mean, obviously, you know, Shawn isn't like, you know, he isn't a hood type of cat, and I think Kenny Porter kind of sees Crawford in himself in Crawford for whatever reason, and and I think that's just I think that's the way. Like, you know, I mean,
that hood shit don't mean nothing in a fucking fight though.
Yeah,
I done seen hood niggas give up in a fight just like I've seen squares give up in a fight. Like, you start getting your ass whooped enough, you start thinking twice about it. Like, Porter, the one of the most dead game, dogged out type of fighters there is, and I don't see no type of streets in him, which is cool because that's who he is. It's like, you ain't gotta be from the streets to be hard. Like,
absolutely. But I just think his father was just like just in awe of that, because him and Crawford were kind of, you know, they kind of grew up a little rough or whatever. So I think that's part of the reason why he was giving Crawford this type of backhand respect, and that's why he was like, you know, I gotta save my son from.
Like, he shook. Like, man, I don't give a goddamn. Let some nigga in some dark alley balling up his fist, mouthing off, and he wanna. It is what it is. Then, like.
Right.
It's like, I mean, come on. Like, I'd have to check my pops even telling a story like that. Like, nigga, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I think it's just now, and he's playing the Angel Garcia role. Like, he's trying to be a star too, and obviously it's not the first time
he's failing, because the thing is, Angel plays off of Danny, and then Angel just has his own routine. He does his thing. Like, Kenny tries too hard. Like,
he micromanages him a lot.
Yeah, like, he be acting like, and he knows Porter is like a humble kid, and he's and everything, and he's strong. He has character, so it kind of look like he's taking advantage of that at times. Like,
a little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like, so when he said the We wanted the real reason. That was kind of like, come on, man. You're trying to be all up in the videos like P. Diddy. Come on, man.
Yeah, the real reason. Like, nigga, shut the fuck up talking about the whole prepared. I'm like, dude, like, you basically act like Crawford wiped his ass when Crawford was going life and death with Porter until the last couple rounds.
Yeah.
Kenny Porter, man. Like, I mean, honestly, now, I mean, if Porter's retirement sticks, then hopefully it does stick. If not, he needs to get the fuck away from Kenny Porter. I think Kenny Porter I think the shit with him ran his course. But I always thought their relationship was kind of odd, even for like, I mean, yes, it's cool, yeah, father is close or whatever, but I've always found a lot of their routines kind of odd to me, and I think it's like, Shawn thinks the world of his pops, and it's cool, whatever. But I think Kenny Porter's problem was, and I think his background is like he couldn't let go of the control, like he couldn't let, like
it's painfully obvious. Like, I think the problem is Porter never saw his dad get his ass kicked.
Right.
and he doesn't have the character inside him to do it his damn self.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that shit was just out of line. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was
be bogus. Like, yeah, Spence was right with that tweet. Like, I couldn't pay my dad after that shit.
And the funny thing is too, I think Broner also mentioned something about his pops too, and this is probably
Broner warned us about Kenny.
Broner would be saying anything about it. This is one of the rare times that Broner was absolutely probably on point. It's like, he kicked a little knowledge about Kenny Porter, and if Broner can see what Kenny Porter is all about, then
say what he said. Say what he said.
My man said he was getting the check, and then giving the leftovers to Shawn. He was fucking the bitches that Shawn wanted to fuck. Yep. He was doing all that shit. He was all up in the videos, controlling everything, and Shawn was just getting the scraps.
And you know what? I could fucking believe that.
Shawn was Mace and Puffy Kenny was Porter.
Kenny Puffy Porter and Kenny Mace.
He's always been controlling. I remember Thurman said that, because Shawn and Thurman had agreed to fight way before they did, and then Kenny put the caboose to it. Oh, well, we don't need to see that fight right now, and he's the one that stepped in, and we would have gotten that earlier when Shawn was the champion, but they wanted to wait. But Shawn was for it, and Kenny was the one that put a stop to it. I remember that shit.
Like, Kenny, you want all these decisions, you need to be fucking boxing. God damn.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably the reason it was. Like, because for probably one thing or the other, he probably couldn't be a boxer. Although, I mean, obviously, there is a video of him, putting hands on a podcaster out there. So
that's a damn podcaster. Like,
yeah, they sign up for all that dangerous stuff. they sign up for that. Like, I be damned if motherfucking from Ring ain't getting their hands put on by some goddamn Kenny Porter. You fucking kidding me? Nigga, I smack the shit out that fake ass Billy D goddamn look you try to have. Always shitting on your fucking son. Like, nah, nigga, I ain't gotta respect that shit. Fuck all that. Like, the nigga feel it. If the dude hear this and he feel a way about it, it's whatever. But it's like, you don't go, shitting on somebody's performance when they give their all like that.
And that's his own son. Jesus,
that's your own son. So it's like, dude, like, why I gotta respect you if you don't respect your son? And your son then gave so much to the sport. All you gave us was some damn designer glasses and prolonged fights from happening, and even in the damn build up to the fight, the fucking the all access shit Top Rank was doing. Yeah, Kenny was acting insufferable in those damn sparring clips. Like, like, dude legit wants to be a star so bad. Like, it's way different. Like, he's honestly, like, he come across worse than Tio and Swift Dad. Like,
yeah, in a way,
in a whole hell of a lot of way. Oh my god, like,
yeah. I mean, the only difference is now is, well, I mean, that you mentioned, I think only real Angel Garcia right now, I think, is kind of quote unquote blackballed a little bit, because he's kind of turned down a lot in recent years, you know. And then Teofimo Sr. got the juice on the fuckery shit going on right now. It's only a matter of time, though. Except Teofimo Sr. is not controlling. Because like I said, you know, he has other things going on, but controlling is not really a word I want to use for him. You know, that's
the thing. As a parent, you need to have other shit going on. You all into your son's life 100%. Like, and this is the thing. Like, as far as the stoppage, look, Kent was damn beating up the canvas. Like the canvas was the one who dropped his ass twice. People talking about, oh, he was looking dizzy, his arms were wobbly. Bullshit. He looked like he could fight some more. It just looked like he was frustrated. This isn't like when De La Hoya was on the ground rolling around from the Hopkins body shot and he hit the ground and punching the ground, but he's still in pain, grimacing and rolling around. Like, if Shawn was doing that, I get it. But he wasn't. He literally punched the ground like 3-4 times, was pissed, got up, was ready. Like,
he looked hurt though. I mean, I saw it from another angle.
No,
of
course he still looked hurt, but like people saying like, oh my god, this is the greatest stoppage ever, and this, that, get the fuck out of here. Like, you knew what you signed up for.
Those 3-4 punches that landed, nothing really landed.
I had enough of this shit.
Nothing really.
Yo, fuck that. Yo, King P got a verse right now. Fuck it.
Wait, before P, you go on. I'm just looking at the comments. Salute Hawker Mustang. I think you're probably a new listener. I think it's the first time I see you in there. And he mentioned that Kenny didn't want to let Bud play with his food, and and he wanted to see a proper stoppage. You know,
we deserve the proper stoppage. Damn, we've been waiting for Crawford to have an opponent like this for like 8 years, and then when he get one, it's like this is shit you pull. The fucking Netflix ended.
Yeah, but one thing's for sure, we can't blame Crawford for any of that shit. Like, Crawford did what he had to do for that one, so we have to make the.
He still made Shawn Porter submit in a sense, but it's like Crawford didn't need any help. This wasn't Marvel versus Capcom. This wasn't hit another nigga jumping in like, okay, here you go. And you can tell how Shawn was looking legit pissed at Kenny when he went to the corner. Like, he looking at him like, what the fuck you was doing? Like, because you scared of a jit in some dark alley don't mean I am. Like, shit. If Porter didn't want to fight, he would have damn stayed on the ground.
Absolutely. AOP.
So that's fuck all that.
AOP, kick your verse, bruh.
Next up, I believe that's me. Yo, Pete, light up the mic for the symphony. So, you know what I'm saying? It was a good, entertaining fight. You know what I'm saying? Salute to both of them because they both did their thing. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to see Crawford in a fight against a top-tier guy, and we got it. And it was entertaining. You know, Porter started off strong. You know what I'm saying? I was surprised because Porter was getting the best of him in 95% of the exchanges, and he looked like the faster fisted guy. I'm like, okay, so we get in the fight. So it seemed, Crawford was a little uncomfortable at first, and then he finally got his timing down. I would say around like the fifth round, I could start to see like the momentum started to swing a little bit. He's catching him more. 6th round was one of his best rounds before the end. He was starting to catch him more, style on him a little bit. I'm like, okay. So, but you could tell he was still having trouble with a little bit sometimes with Porter's strength. Because even though at times Crawford was just as strong, but like he was pushing him back, but he was still getting pushed back too. He was getting hit clean sometimes with the overhand right and the swinging left. Not all the time, but he was still getting hit. Like, Crawford was getting hit too. Motherfuckers were acting like he wasn't like feeling those punches. So, but I would say Crawford's, counter punching, the right uppercuts and the left hooks and the body work, started to take its toll. And it was going back and forth, and you could tell, Porter was feeling on the body shots. I definitely saw that. So, it was what it was, but he was still going. And then fucking 10th round, that bullshit comes. And first off, he knocks him down the first time. I saw it. It was like, okay, he hit him with an uppercut. He came in, caught him, didn't see it. All right, cool. Now he gets up. Then afterwards, people are like, oh, well, he did it again. Because he did it again. He was like, oh, we never seen nobody do this to Crawford. I'm like, oh, boy. The motherfuckers act like we never seen somebody get knocked down twice in a round. Like we didn't see Fury get knocked down twice by Wilder in a round. And nobody, like, come on, man.
Yes,
like, he's like, well, and then you just see him, like, first I see him pounding the fist, pounding the floor with his hands. Porter, I'm like, okay, Porter frustrated. He upset. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden, see the fucking towel. Like, are you kidding me? And then like you just see Porter just like, what the fuck? Like, and I'm hearing it because I'm hearing like he's like, the ref's asking him, are you okay? Can you continue? He's like, yeah, I'm good. Like, he's answering him, he's doing all that. And then for Porter to just Kenny to just come out and throw the towel like that, what kind of bullshit was that? There was no reason for that. Like, I don't care what he thought, what he was watching. Oh well, he wasn't prepared for this fight. And let me. It's funny because throughout the build-up, there were a lot of people joking around that, oh well, Shawn is at the events, he's out doing at the football games and all this. Doesn't he have a fight coming up? Why isn't he training for the fight? So I get that. That was kind of a running joke. But at the same time, motherfucking came to fight. And was he prepared for the first 7 rounds? He looked pretty prepared to me. So I don't want to hear that as a damn excuse.
Not to interject, I think they're selling Porter short on him doing the bulk of the promoting for the fight as well.
No, I get that, but there was a lot of them like, is he training? Is he doing, like, people thought he wasn't training. Like, there was a lot of people that legit thought he was not training.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. A guy like Porter always trains like a maniac. Like,
but either way,
my bad.
Because he's on the pay-per-view cards announcing, and also the podcast every week. I think
he still finds time to train. So yeah, motherfuckers can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Like, that's a stupid excuse. Either way, he looked pretty prepared the first 7 rounds. So I don't want to hear that. And then it was, well, because I made a comment last night, well, there was no reason to do that. And then all the fucking people with the agendas, came, oh, well, Crawford's the only man to stop Porter. And, his dad did the right thing. His son was going to get hurt. See, now you're just projecting stuff. Yes, we know Crawford is a finisher and Crawford is mean, but we've seen Porter take punishment before. We've seen him take punishment throughout 12 rounds. So I don't want to hear that. Oh, well, like, so now, but then again, it's the same people that think Crawford is a bigger puncher than all those guys. Oh, well, like, see, now the agenda's coming. So it's like, what the fuck? Because at the same time, Porter got up. He was ready. Like, and with Kenny was on some bullshit. Fuck him. Fuck K Diddy trying to be all in the stand, but all in the videos, dancing and shit like that. He made that shit all about him, and his explanation for it made it even worse because he basically just hung Shawn out to drop. Like, if you want to say how he wasn't prepared and all that shit, well then, like, you were part of that. You were training with him, so what's that say about you? Like, what's that say about you? Like, come on now. Like, it's complete bullshit. And there was ways that you could handle that. Like, if you really felt like that, you could have let the round finish off and then tell Shawn, you know what, as he comes into the corner, as a lot of trainers have said, listen, I don't like what you were doing. You got to show me something. If you don't show me something next round, I'm going to stop the fight. He could easily done that. And if the punishment continued, okay, we get it. He gave him the warning, all that. He did nothing. Just the first sign of trouble. Like, we've seen this man Porter going through so much adversity. Like, and it's an issue that now, oh, well, you just want to see Porter get hurt. No, I want to see him go through adversity. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But he wasn't at that point yet. I'm not with the projecting shit because you want to nut hug Bud Crawford to make it a top-ranked PBC thing because y'all not slick. Like, y'all not slick. I see through the bullshit. Like, everything is basically just giving an agenda for how you
Bars,
feel. Oh, yeah. Well, he knocked him out. Spence didn't do this. Thurman didn't do this. Yeah, not nodding all the other times of back and forth. Like, he struggled more than Spence and Thurman in those fucking first couple rounds. Like, those rounds, he looked really bad. Like, at times, Porter was really doing real good until he finally got his footing in. So I don't want to hear that shit. Like, it's complete bullshit. And now I'm tired of these fake fans that they're using now, this agenda, to now act like under the guise of, oh, well, I don't want to see him get hurt that badly. No, you just wanted to see it get stopped, and now you can brag about Porter getting stopped because, oh, well, other health reasons. Man, this is a fight. Man, this is a fight. You know, I don't want to go out and on your shield is overrated. I'm not saying it's got to be. That's the other thing. Like, people are being so stupid. Like, it's got to be 0 through 100. Like, if we want to see it continue, that means we got to see him get pummeled and actually go to sleep. No, there's a happy medium where.
Wait. Let me ask you this then. Is it the same people that was all on Wilder dick talking about, oh my God, he has his heart in that Fury, the
same people, yes,
same people. Wilder had less of a chance than Porter. But now Porter is like hurt a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he's been dropped twice. He's been through hell and back before. Now this is Porter who gives everyone a tough fight. And then everybody's like, well, I don't want this guy Porter to get hurt anymore. Yeah, it's the right thing. You gotta listen to your pops.
Oh my God.
Like,
it's
fucking
a fight.
Shit.
Like, I never knew boxing fans were so pussy. Like, my
now you
God.
just realizing the agenda that niggas have just turned you off from boxing. It's like, honestly, you can't really speak on boxing to most people without them trying to crowbar an agenda in it. Like, I just want to see a good fight. I don't care about all the crossing the street shit. If Crawford knocks out, but let me get a real knockout. Don't give me this bullshit and don't brag on the stoppage like it wasn't help me with that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the same motherfuckers that was like, well, Porter was going to sleep. He didn't go to sleep. Like, he got help. Like, he got help with the stoppage. Stop it. Like, you should have wanted, if you said Porter was going to sleep, and we want to see him go to sleep. I don't give a shit. He'll wake up. He'll wake up when he wakes up. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired.
Not this bullshit.
But before you guys continue, I just want to acknowledge Joshua O made his appearance. I see him in there. It's been a minute, bro. You've been MIA, bro. What's going on, bro? Like, you gotta check in, bro. And of course, he checked in just for a Crawford cast. Good timing.
Like clockwork, like he already knew. He's like, I could smell a ring game Crawford session. Hold on. So shout outs to he been rocking with us forever. So shout outs.
Yeah,
and let me.
Oh, okay.
Your verse ain't done. Yeah, I feel some more bars.
And let me make this perfectly clear. This is nothing against, like, Mike Smoke isn't directed towards Terence Crawford. He's actually probably the last person that I've smoked towards for this whole thing, because it's really not his fault. He did what he was supposed to do. And shout out to him. I would say he still passed the test, but it's just all the other bullshit. Like, people just did this, because he's mean. Like he's the only person that's fucking mean. Like, that in boxing. Like, I think Spence is pretty mean. I think both of them are mean, too. So, when it comes to punching. And Spence was trying to get him out of there, and he couldn't get Porter out of there. So, how do we know? Like, are we just predicting it was going to happen just because we've seen it happen with lesser fighters? With lesser fighters that don't have the ability to take punches and the will that Porter does? No, get the fuck out of here. We can't compare him to other lesser fighters that he's fought because he's above them. So he should get more leeway than those lesser fighters like a Jeff Horn or a Jose Benavidez. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Damn, this is when you needed bullshit. It wouldn't have mattered if you had 3 Steve Smokers in that motherfucking ring and 1 Kenny Porter there.
Yeah, like Kenny gets the most smoke because fuck him. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if he hears this. I'll say fuck him. What you gonna do? Smack me? I'll fucking I'll push you. Like,
if you're afraid of Crawford, what about another grown ass man? Fuck out of here.
And he was just projecting this whole thing because he was in awe of Crawford. Oh, well, he tried to fight me when he was younger. Bull fucking shit. Like, who gives a shit? So just because you pussy don't mean nothing on Shawn.
Maybe you should have handled that, and your son wanted that to lose to this nigga.
Yeah, just like you had like it was funny because you was going back and forth with Broner back in the day. You didn't like him being disrespectful, but yeah, Crawford's the boogeyman. Like it's just pushing this agenda. It's just complete bullshit, and there's no reason for it. Like this should have been between two top guys in the welterweight division, and now it's turned into a shit fest with so many other moving parts that shouldn't even be a part of this whole thing. Like this is a drama show. This is a big drama show in the way that we don't want big drama shows. Like I'll take the Triple G big drama show over this fucking catty chatty patty big drama show. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, this is the big version.
And I'm just reading more comments. Fucker Mustang, he says, I think Spence is shook, and that's probably a good segue.
And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this has nothing to do with, like, Crawford and Spence. Motherfuckers got mad.
Why you think he walked away then? Like,
oh, yeah, no, because he's
away like, this is some bullshit.
This is some bullshit. And then it's like, well, Crawford is scared. How come he didn't go up and after the ring and get in his face in the ring? Well, how come Crawford didn't do it when he was at the Danny fight and he didn't do that? But that was different, like they say in Friday. Like, it's complete.
Hold on. What excuses these people make when Victor Ortiz bodied somebody in in front of him and called him out, and Crawford was like, "You ain't ready." You telling another man they not ready?
Yeah, and it's his little homie too, because Hooker was his boy, training Hooker.
Dude, that was the first Hooker sighting we seen since then. Like he.
Yeah, and then it got even more worse when you got people like, oh, well, you know, he's ducking Crawford. Literally, at the press conference, Crawford says, I'm leaving Top Rank because Bob Rank could not secure me the Spence fight. But yet you want to say it's Spence's fault when the guy is leaving the promotion because he said Arum couldn't secure me that fight. But it's Spence's fault. It's neither of these fighters.
Arum was not trying to spend the money on making Spence fight, Porter fights, any fight. He said that time and time again.
This is ridiculous, and this is the agenda that's being pushed on both sides. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. I get on PBC agendas, I get on Top Rank agendas, any agenda. This is supposed to be boxing. It's like we like everything aside from the actual boxing. And this whole thing is now everything but the boxing. Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, that's how it's gonna be. You know, agendas are a thing. Like, I mean, the only agenda I care about that got put to bed is the fact that PBC welters, you know, from PBC are the one, you know, are just automatically superior to any other welter in the world just because they have more of a presence in the division. That's the only.
I don't think
that's not even that's not even an agenda, because all the PBC guys been fighting each other, whereas
none of these other guys have been fighting each other.
But then you have to understand,
Crawford hasn't even fought nobody.
But then you have to understand, though, I've been sitting on the welterweight division for years.
Yeah, we know.
Dude, but this is the thing, Pat. You just want to keep your agenda alive, and that's honestly the shit King P is getting about.
Well, no, that agenda is dead. No, that's dead.
Never been an agenda in the first place, but well, I digress.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm having about. I was like,
so the PBC guys weren't fighting each other and proving that they were the best? Is that yes or no? Yes or no?
No,
hold on. So
I don't think. I told you, bro. I don't think highly of how that division operates over there. I never have, and I never will.
I'm just asking from the PBC wasn't fighting the best, wasn't fighting each other to prove that there was a best.
I want to make this clear. I'll make this very clear. Anything with Danny Garcia at welterweight is horseshit. For the PBC.
It doesn't matter what you think about Danny. Danny's still a top name in the division.
So let's just say, like, I mean, the best fight they could have made, the best fight they could have made over there, which was Thurman and Spence, didn't happen because those two had beef.
No, well, it actually didn't happen because Thurman got hurt, and Thurman said,
"And the time, see, that's what I'm saying. This nigga knows better. This nigga knows better, but he still just
talk about fuck that nigga. No, both of them were on there talking about fuck that nigga this, fuck that nigga that. Like, that's how these niggas were talking. It didn't happen, and then at once, and then didn't happen
because the moment Thurman started fighting, he was doing a fucking a tune-up, and then he got the Pacquiao fight. Who give a fuck about Spence if you getting a Pacquiao fight?
Well, the tune-up nearly tuned him up, and then Pacquiao did.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like niggas can
an exaggeration, bro.
Without putting extras on it. Like, oh my god, like, okay, yeah. True or false? Pilot, loud and clear. With a PBC side of boxing, were they not facing each other, proving that they were the best?
No,
true or false?
No, that's true. I mean, literally, you can't never name two welterweights on Top Rank ever. So I mean, like, the division's so weak. I mean, in that stable. So I mean, yeah. I mean, it was a round robin, 147.
All right. Let me just say this. Fun fact. But before this new PBC era came aboard. Well, like let's go past before PBC. Didn't they say the last time? I remember they were saying like the last time we saw like a unification like between like two things. Remember when they said it was wasn't Tito and Oscar before then the last unification at welter, like true unification, where it's two champions
like for all the belts or just
no, not for all the belts, because the other ones, yeah, there was undisputed, and then we had undisputed welters in the, but like before that it was been a long time before we saw like a unification between those, or unifications were, and all of a sudden now we got two
Swift fight.
Swift and Thurman.
Zab Judah, right? Didn't Judah?
But that wasn't a unification, because didn't Spinks have all the belts? He didn't have a belt.
Spinks and Mayorga was a unification.
And that was that was like what, 15 years prior, like.
And then it was unified for a while, and then it got splintered because of some unfortunate things from Zab Judah got splintered, and then and then there was supposed to be one between Cotto and Margarito, but one of them sanctioned bodies didn't really want to.
I'm saying we barely get, like, we get all these bullshit. We don't really get unifications in the welterweight division, and yet we've had two unifications in the past years. In the past 4 years, and both of them have come from the PBC side.
Well, I mean, Pacquiao and Floyd was a unification too.
True. I forgot about that. That was unification.
Then we got Thurman Swift and Porter.
Thurman Swift and Porter and Spence. Those were two big unification fights. Like that, we don't really get often welterweights. So I mean, it's not like PBC hasn't been putting their guys against.
And that's my whole point. It's like, instead of niggas just calling it down the middle, motherfuckers is running with an agenda because they like PBC more, or they like Morg, or they don't like a certain fighter on this side of the street more than they like another fighter on the street. That's all I'm saying. Like, regardless of what you think of Danny Garcia and all these other motherfuckers, one side was putting in more work than the other.
And the other side passed the eye test and is still the most accomplished American fighter, and he again proved
and the other side only consisted of one person too. This ain't the same welterweight era where Bradley was fighting Jesse Vargas and Pacquiao and all these other motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, that was actual. I'm not. Well, of course, the best in the welterweight era wasn't that era or this one. It was the one before that, when Margarito and Punisher and all of them were walking around, on some warrior shit, But no welterweights, nah.
It's like y'all just wanted to say Y'all just wanted to say Crawford is better than everybody on PBC. Like, prove it to me. Like, he's better than Porter on PBC. Like, that's it right now. Like,
I mean, right
now, I don't know what else niggas are expecting.
Yeah, put him up. You don't even have to put him up against Spence. Put him up against Thurman. Thurman's got a tune-up coming up in January, February. Then after that, in the summer, put him with Thurman. See if he can get.
I mean, right now, the only fight that really needs to be made, and depending on what the mandatories are for Spence, is Crawford Spence. Because let's put it this way: that fight can go away very quickly because like I said, I don't trust Spence.
It's been a way, like honestly, I don't even care about the fight no more.
Been kind of over it for a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's one of those fights that need to because Spence still has 2 of his belts. But it's like one of those things like you got to put Spence.
Give that shit the damn Boots or Virgil Ortiz. Like,
and then of course Ugas is now currently preoccupied as he should be. You know, so
yeah, exactly. He got his hands full with Stan Jonas, and whatever happens after that, they gotta fight that monster that Jamal James had fought.
Yeah, you know, so I mean,
you got good fights at welterweight. I don't need it. If I die before seeing Crawford, Spence, whatever, it's whatever. Like, fuck it. Like, I mean, it's too long.
Yeah, it's still because, like I said, because I mean Crawford, you know, I mean he's 34, you know, and he's good. Obviously, I mean he probably has maybe a couple years of his actual physical prime left, and
he's looking like he did against Porter. Then he got 1 year left.
Yeah, that's the thing, and then we need to make sure that that Spence stays in the straight and narrow, and hopefully, he actually heals up. Not trying to rush him back in the ring.
That's the thing. Like, would y'all want Crawford, Spence? You would want Crawford to fight Spence next, and Spence comes right back from whatever. No,
he can't. He can't because Spence probably has Spence has 2 Mandos like brewing, especially the IBF one. The IBF isn't gonna let him escape that Mando. So
I mean, in a perfect world, we have Spence fight the Ugas round robin in that one, and then we get a full, undisputed unification.
That's not a perfect world because no one wants to see Spence Ugas.
No, yeah,
I'd rather see Spence fight Jamal James. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if the belts don't matter, who cares? Just drop the belts and fight each other.
Yeah,
the problem is though, no one's gonna really pay for Spence Ugas without a belt. I mean, that's one of the situations.
I'm talking Spence Crawford.
Yeah, like Ugas has. I mean, Ugas is a legit champion, but if Ugas gives up his belt for a Spence fight, it's gonna be like why?
Man, I'm just tired of these old niggas, man. Look, man, give me Virgil Ortiz versus Crawford. Let me get Boots versus Spence. Winner fight Thurman and whoever the fuck else out there. Like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, motherfuckers don't want to be waiting for super fights for 3 and 4 years.
Right, like welterweight. I mean, if you're gonna make a Spence Crawford fight, you better make it for like summertime or something like that. You gotta make it for this year. Like
the thing is, even if Crawford fights Spence next, everyone's gonna look at Spence like, oh damn, like, well, he's just coming back. Like, he's fighting Crawford already.
He's getting his goods, and
so it's like the fight is already ruined.
But hey, that's the welterweight division. It's welterweight division, like, they have a long way to go before they straighten itself out. And it's going to mostly see who's going to get floated to the top there, and whether it's going to be Crawford there, or is he going to give up his belt eventually to go up to 154, or is Spence go down to 154? Or
that's what he need to do, man. Like, this welterweight shit taking too long, and Crawford, I don't think he could get away with fighting once a year and fighting somebody on the level of Porter or more. Like, that shit was working for the Jeff Horns and the Benavides and all of them and the Khans and the Brooks, but now that you reach this level, like, I don't know, he don't need to be fighting a whole another year later and trying to go after a Boots or Virgil Ortiz. Like,
I'm just reading some more comments from Hawker Mustang. PBC fanboys is crazy to me. Yep, I've been saying that too. Al Heyman doesn't think that Spence is ready. I don't think Al thinks that per se. Al probably puts the handcuffs on a lot of different people, like Broner for reasons, but I don't think Spence is one of them. Spence kind of, he causes his own problems. I don't think Al has anything to do with him getting drunk and crashing, or the detached retina. What happened to Once Upon a Time Thurman? I mean, Keith he's civilized now, but apparently, like I said, he may be back in January. We'll have to see.
Injuries, and losing that traction.
January, February, and even Crawford said that Thurman is Crawford Thurman is a big fight. So he still looks at Thurman as a big fight. So,
which it is. I mean, to beat the guy that you just beat, like, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Thurman is doing. I mean, we just have the hope that Thurman. I mean, Thurman probably, like I said, he made a lot of money in that Pacquiao fight. He got injured again somewhat, and he got married. Yeah, I mean, he's been low key. He's been doing whatever he's been doing. But like I said, but this is a different Keith. This ain't Warrior Keith anymore. Keith is a very different man now, and honestly, Keith will probably never
recognize that. We just want to see him fight. I'm used to this dude showing up one year and fighting a top level opponent. He's more used to doing that than Crawford is. Crawford just literally did that.
Yeah, so but we'll see what happens with Thurman. If he's back in January. I mean, PBC hasn't really announced any fights past next month. I don't think anything set in stone. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. But any other closing thoughts on a sour bite to end the meal, aka Netflix ending?
No, I think I said my piece.
King ain't got no more bars.
I could see why Thurman joked around years ago and said he doesn't like fighters with daddies as their trainers, because you get this bullshit. Daddy's boy Porter. Fuck him.
Yeah, I don't even want to shit on the whole father-son demo because we've gotten some good ones, but Kenny Porter really making it look bad. I've
always been kind of against father-son trainers. It takes certain ones to make it work, and I just feel like I'm not questioning his fatherhood. I'm sure Kenny's a great father, but as a trainer, he failed. He failed miserably.
But that's the thing. I think him trying to be a father and a trainer kind of hurt in that situation.
Yeah. And shouts out real quick to Shawn Porter for if he did actually retire. He had a great career, borderline Hall of Famer, and he never ducked no smoke. So, so shouts out to Shawn.
Porter always gets my respect.
Yeah, of course.
And this is from somebody that I remember the first time I saw him was against Julio Diaz, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, this guy's fighting style is so ugly. I'd never thought that. I enjoyed
those Julio Diaz fights.
I mean, they were enjoyable fights, but his style was his style was hard to watch, really hard.
I felt like he punched more back then.
I thought. I used to watch him on them Showbox fights, and I couldn't. I thought he was trash. I thought he was honestly, because he was at 154. I actually thought that 154 would sort him out. Although 154 back then was a little different. It wasn't. The champions weren't as strong. I mean, there was Floyd, and then there was the ones that would hold the IBF and the WBO belts every now and then. That was pretty much 154 then.
I guess I can thank bitch ass Khan for Porter kind of elevating quicker. So because Khan pulled out the fight with Devin Alexander because he thought he'd get the Floyd fight, and then so Porter stepped in, and so that was the beginning of Porter. So I guess Khan did something right for once.
Yeah, Khan
did that for his own career.
Oh yeah, trust me. When Khan retires, we'll definitely have to do a little career retrospective on him because Khan has had some mind-bogglingly decisions that you just what the fuck is he doing? Without Khan, Shawn Porter's career would have never took off. Seriously.
I don't think Kenny Porter trains anyone else. I see Hawker Mustang ask that question. Nah, he just chooses to ruin his son's life.
I think I remember Shawn mentioning he has some prospects yet, but I mean maybe it's under his banner. I don't know.
I mean, I would think if he trained other fighters, another fight would have probably knocked them out by now.
Yeah, he would have showed up to the gym on that flashing shit and barking at niggas, and motherfuckers would be like, look, you better bring this shit outside, nigga.
Yeah, I'm saying, he would have come in there, his eye would have been as shiny as his suits. You know what I mean? Shit.
Yeah, I ain't saying, I don't know, that shit was just weird. I don't know, that shit irked the fuck out of me, I'm just now trying to picture all the father-dad team-ups, and I'll never think I was as annoyed as the one with Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter. I'm looking at Chris Bird family, Shane and Mosley, Jack Mosley,
Mayweather,
all of these guys, everybody seemed to kept their cool. Zab Dad.
At least Angel's funny. At least Angel makes
he be saying some real shit.
Well, I mean, Zab Dad is different. Zab Dad was a champion kickboxer, so it wasn't Yeah, I think Zeb had a healthy fear of his own father, but not like to the degree, you know, like he was like a punk, you know.
I mean, your dad's a kickboxing champion, and he's damn barking at you in damn Cool G Rap's voice.
Yeah,
yeah. You gonna listen?
Yeah. Papa Judah was no joke. He could, you know, I would think Zeb.
Papachenko, Joe Calzaghe. Yeah, man, fuck that. We gonna put respect on these father-son team-ups. Fuck all that. I ain't gonna let Kenny Porter spoil that shit.
I mean, even Mosley's pops too. Jack Mosley. Yeah, it was Jack Mosley. I think. Yeah, it was
because I've never seen him do. I can't recall anybody else doing some crazy shit like that in their son's biggest fight. So yeah.
Oh, I mean, there was a couple of times where fucking Angel smacked the shit out of Danny mid-round. I'm like, damn, like.
Danny was probably not throwing enough punches and doing what the fuck he was supposed to do. So
he kept on eating jabs or some shit like he usually does.
So if Angel slaps his son in the corner, then he probably needed to. Roy Jones and his dad fell out. Yeah, damn Hawker.
Yeah.
Bringing up, that's about the last time I can remember. And then Roy talking about he threw the Tarver 3 fight for that because of that shit. Like,
Roy and his dad had a dysfunctional relationship like that. Yeah, that was real dysfunctional.
Yeah. Okay. So, we finally found one. Okay, Kenny Porter, you're not off the hook, but you know, you just got company. So. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, Roy's dad was worse. But you know, Roy became a whole.
You didn't have social media and shit like as big back then either.
Yeah.
So, but you can see Kenny in his flashy ass clothing and his glasses and you know getting the hoes your son supposed to get. Like,
you know, Kenny be wearing the same suits from the cat daddies that went to my mom's church. Oh shit!
Yeah, I'd be man. Me and Pops would have to go at it if. You know, I knock out some dudes in a boxing tournament, and then I come out the locker room, and then the chick I was trying to smash, you know, my pops is damn hugged up on her like, yo, so, you know, you saw my son beat that nigga ass, right? I told him that. I'm like, yo, Pops, like, you shitting me, right? Like, you knew I was trying to get her, right? Like, what's good? Hey, man, you don't want to, hey, I ain't no little kid you boxing in there, boy, like... I put the smackdown on your little Michael Jai White looking ass. I ain't your daddy anyway, motherfucker. Like, hold on. We throwing hands, fam. Throwing hands. Yeah. Shout outs to Hawker because he had to bring up the Roy Jones dad. So now all is well. So good looking out.
Word. But yeah,
I didn't want to just. One guy didn't deserve all the bars. Maybe he did, but you know.
Yeah, I think we all spent enough bars on this particular card.
Y'all got some bars left over for Andre's performance.
Well, first